Yo, what's up, my favorite people? Welcome back to another video. Today, I'm pretty much gonna do a tutorial about Bad Business Mobile. So, hope you enjoy. Leave a like on the course, subscribe, and turn that bell on. And of course, let's get into it. Bam pew. And of course, as the first tip of the video, the first thing that you need to know, you're playing Bad Business or new how to Bad Business, is of course you need to master your recoil patterns and recoil control. Recoil patterns is pretty much just what it's pretty much the pattern of when you shoot without controlling recoil. Like where will your cursor be? Which this will give you kind of an idea of how you need to control your recoil. What that so an example of this actually is, for example, my AK right here. I'm gonna leave it right here. You can kind of see that it simply just going up and up, and it just simply goes up and up, and it does a tiny zigzag right there. So what that tells me is that to control my recoil in my AK, what I need to do is this: to push my screen to the opposite side of where my of where the recoil was shown to be at. And as well, if you go to right here, you reset and go to the gun itself, you can kind of see right here, right here in the stance of the gun, you can see that there's a recoil pattern shown there. The recoil pattern shown there, we kind of just tells you like how the recoil pattern works. And there we go. There we go with the first part of tip number one, and now we're going for that part two, which is recoil control itself. Recoil control is a pretty important thing in the game because that will tell you if you will hit your shots or not, which is probably like the most important part of the gunfight, except for just evading the enemy shots. That's the second most important part of a gunfight. So from what I saw, from what I saw in the recoil pattern, what I need to do so I can kill somebody is simply just push my screen to the opposite side of where the recoil pattern was shown. So that what that does is actually it makes it so like I pretty much have no recoil, which is pretty much what a lot of people that have seen in YouTube saying like, "Yo, this gun has no recoil" and stuff like that. Because about that in Call of Duty, the games like it pretty much just like that. They just do this. They just simply just see the recoil pattern of the gun, and they just pretty much just push the screen to the opposite side of where the recoil it was shown to go at. Well, in that case, let's go to this a second tip for this video. For the second part of the video today, we're pretty much gonna show you. I'm pretty much gonna show you some tricks for movement, which is a pretty important thing in the game itself. This is pretty much just an example of it. This, for example, this is the first I'm gonna show you, which is box jumping. Where you simply just get it like right here, like here. You crouch pretty much in front of the box, and you simply jump with your crosshair to move like just going to the side you wanna go. I will do it. You pretty much gonna get impulsed front pretty fast for a second or 2 seconds, which pretty much gonna give you a chance of get behind an enemy. Like for example, there's an enemy shooting me right here, right? What I'm gonna do is simply I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna impulse it there so I can get to the side and just shoot him. That's pretty much how it works. Well, another trick you can do is pretty much just sprint jump. Sprint jump is simply sprinting while spamming the jump button. While spamming jump, which I'm gonna show you like later on in the video on tip 3 how to jump in the game. So don't worry about it. Well, this is an example of sprint jumping. Just simply jumping like this, like Sprint jumping, you can actually as well use zigzag and do stuff like this, which is pretty cool. It's pretty cool actually. Not gonna lie. Well, as well, something you can do as well is pretty much just as well this combine all this with crouch, which make it hard to hit. Make you harder hit, stuff like that, and of course and next tip. I'm sorry, I will just concentrate on something else. The next tip is structure jumping. That's what I call it. More like structure jumping is jumping from structure to structure. So it's like this. This is an example of it. But you pretty much just parkour. You pretty much just doing parkour around like bunk, bunk. You just simply parkour around the whole map, and if you combine everything I've told you by far now, for now you're gonna be pretty hard to move. But as well, you need to combine this movement with your aim and recoil control so that you may have like good good movement, but you will have aim trash aim pretty much. As well with shooting movement, we also shoot, and while doing that, you can actually jump. Use of harder hit, which pretty much is pretty useful in gunfights, but you need to get used to it. You need to pretty much bury down because jumping kind of just look at this. Like as well, like that gun recoil, and as well like doing that, it kind of just gonna impulse your screen a lot up. So you need to find a you need to get used to it and find a way how to make it so it doesn't move. Also like the last tip, the trick is simply sprint. Simply slide. The pyramid is gonna impulse you around any structure. As well, like if you're going like down a slide, something like this stairs, you're gonna go down very fast, and you can get behind cover pretty fast. Which as well you can kind of combine as well with the jump thingy, and you're gonna be pretty good. You can go. You can pretty much just go away from a gunfight that you don't want to be in, like pretty fast. For example, there's a guy sniping there, so I'm gonna do this. I'm already all the way in my spawn. He's all the way there, but I'm all the way here already. So let's go with tip number 3, which is pretty good and pretty good for the tip for this tips for movement I just show you right now. The next trick pretty much it will be, which is for number 3, it will be how to jump baptism mobile. Alright, if you know about baptism mobile, you already know the fact that you can normally not jump in baptism mobile. You can normally not do that. And it pretty much is exclusive to place to controller and as well PC, which is pretty sad. Which is why, as well another reason why we don't really have that many mobile players, because mobile kind of sucks because of that. But I'm gonna show you how to jump without need to do any bug, nothing. You don't need to do any of that. What you simply do is you go to your settings, which is right this button, which is kind of like a little piece of thingy at the bottom, kind of a bit of more up from your stats of like prestige level and your money. You click that, your settings. You go to your movement keybinds. On the top, you will see you will see like the fifth thing going down will be jump. What you're gonna do, like it's normally gonna tell you space. It's gonna tell you space, but what you're gonna do is you're gonna click it and then click the screen. What's you're gonna do? What's that gonna do? You're gonna make it so every single time you touch the screen, you will jump, which is pretty useful with the tricks I just showed. Well, let's go with number 4, the last trick. No, last trick, yep, last trick. Which is actually, I'm not gonna do anything, show you, which is, which is simply settings. Your settings is one of the most important things in the game, so you need to find some good settings, because if you don't find it, then you're gonna have some good old trouble in the game. Well, I'm gonna give you my settings. Which is right here, you can kind of see them. Movement, you can have the 3 on if you want. Don't really necessary. Or what I have seen, I've texted those 3, but I really don't see any difference or any effects. Although maybe there is, but you simply just don't notice them. In camera field of view, I have 100 FOB. In sensitivity, I have 128. In sensitivity, I have 128 as well as scope sensitivity. Now we have reticle. Size 7, thickness 2, center size 4. Rotation diameter size, just put it off on 0. Color red, that's what I have it. Dot size 5. Dot color, you have it white. Dot egg color off. Dot enable off. The transparency 0. See how my cursor looks like. Scroll sensitivity 100. Toggle leaderboard on. Name display mode. Display name pretty much. Display full names in leaderboard. Check. Hide name tags. Nope. Hide cause indicator check. Hide hard point indicator check. Hide patrol indicator check. High domination indicators check. And as well the grenade timer check. The team colors I have for Omega, I have this weird greenish color. For Beta, I have this kind of brown looking color. For Free Fall, I have gray, dark gray, infected, light green, and Survivor cyan, neutral white, contestant color yellow. Display map textures. Disable map textures on because it's gonna give you a lot more FPS. I will disable ragdoll effects or your liking. Effects your liking. I put both effects because it kind of helps you see if you hit your shots or not. Super spin effect because it feels cool. And there you go. There you go with all the tips and tricks how to become good about this mobile. So if you enjoyed, leave a like, subscribe, and turn that bell on so you know when I'm gonna put the next video. Which the next video is actually gonna be bad business again. So